we'll do a full burn another unit of fuel, and we are going to go 1 to aerial. Alliance space is Alliance cruiser. Oh dear, that's the one we've been dreading, the reshuffle the deck. There's one of these in each one. One of these is kind of like the epidemic card in Pandemic. You have one of these in each one of the decks. There's one in the Alliance, there's one in the border space, and if you got the expansions, there's one of these in rim space. So we're going to take a look at that here. All right, I'm sorry, I wanted to clear the discarded cards. I've just been stacking them up over here. I wanted to clear them away from the board there. So the first thing is Alliance cruiser. You can't run. They're pulling us in. So we move the cruiser to our sector. So we move the cruiser over here to aerial. We have had a run in with the cruiser now, and they've asked us to pull over and give us our license and registration, please. Keep your hands on the wheel where I can see them. Now, however, no, I was going to say Harken. Harken just lets us ignore the customs inspections card. This isn't a customs inspection. This is a full Alliance cruiser, so we can't ignore that, even if we are solid with Harken. However, we could buy 2 fuel from them when this is over. So I think we're going to do that. All right, we move the cruiser to our sector. Pay fines, 1,000 per warrant. Well, we don't actually have any warrants right now, so we're good as far as the fines go. Clear warrants, once again, we don't have any warrants going on. All contraband and fugitives are seized, including those in your stash. So that's the bad part about the Alliance Cruiser card. Even if you've got them in your stash, the Alliance Cruiser does a full search of your ship. We don't have any fugitives, though. We don't have any contraband. They're trying to catch us flying dirty. And we are not flying dirty. We are flying nerdy. All right, and now we need to roll for each one of our wanted crew. We have 3 wanted crew members. We have Zoe, we have Bree, and we have the interrogator. On a 1, they get captured and taken away from our ship, removed from the game. 2 to 6, they dodge capture. All right, let's roll for Zoe first. Remember, it's got that wanted rating right down there next to the thing. They have a warrant for their arrest. Let's see if she manages to avoid. Last time she did it by surfing behind the ship on a skyhook. What does she do this time? Nothing that glorious, but she manages to avoid it. So we've managed to keep Zoe on board. Fantastic. Next, let's roll for Bree and his black market ties. No ones, no ones. And Bree's got a 4, so we've kept him. Now the interrogator. Our medic over here is the last one. Let's see what happens with him. A 3. Okay, we've managed to keep all our crew, but we do come to a full stop, so we have to stop there. There you go. It shows the thing. We could have, we might as well have just moseyed, because we would have ended up same way, making 1 turn, moving 1 space, burning a fuel, and we wouldn't have drawn the Alliance card. But you don't know these things, do you? Hindsight is always 20/20. But while we're here, we're solid with Harken, so we're going to buy some fuel. I'm going to pay 200 and 100 and 200, and we will buy 2 units of fuel right there, which we'll throw in our stash and immediately burn 1 as we do another burn. So let's get this off the board. Oops. I'm also going to stop here while I reshuffle the deck. So I will be back in just a moment, and we will try to finish up this turn. All right, guys, we have come back. Welcome back to it. Welcome to 2018, by the way. I hope y'all had a nice New Year's Eve last night and everything's going well for you. Hope you're going to have a good year this year. and be able to get a lot of good gaming in, whether it's video gaming or board gaming or whatever kind of stuff you're going to do with your family, your kids, or solo, whatever you want to call it. So here we go. We got a couple of things to take care of. One, when we were over here on Persephone dealing with Badger, we had forgotten that we could make work while we were there. So I'm going to give myself 200 credits for having done Alliance makeup there, make work there. And I'm good with retconning and giving me that afterwards, because I'm also very good about correcting any of my mistakes that hurt me. Anything I forget that hurts me whenever I'm looking back at the videos and editing and all. So I don't see any problem with correcting things that help me out a little bit as well. The other thing is we have to remove another token, because we forgot to remove a token when we started flying from Bellerophon there. So we are now down to seven of the counters over there left. So 7 turns left. We are going to Ithaca, which is right up there above Niska. So at best, we've got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 more moves to do. I think the first thing we're going to do is we are going to, oh Lord, it can be 3 in border space, or it can be 1 in alliance space and 2 in border space. You know, as I said, we've got that reshuffle card where you bring the Reaver to us coming up in the border space deck. We haven't actually ran into it yet. So I think we're going to chance it. We're going to move 1 more in alliance space here. Oh, we had come to a full stop, so we need to do another full burn. We did burn the fuel, because remember, we bought fuel from the alliance cruiser while we're here. So let's not forget, burn another token. So we are now down to 6 turns over there. I think we're going to do this, but let's not get too cocky, kid. The other part is, we're here at Ariel. Ariel, by the way, this is so appropriate to have the Alliance Cruiser, to have drawn the Alliance Cruiser card while we are here at Ariel, being that Ariel, if I remember right, wasn't that the planet where Jane betrayed the crew and turned Simon and River in? Thinking it is, so it's very appropriate that the cruiser catch up with us and do a full search and everything there. Very nice indeed. Since we're on Ariel, since we're starting, we can do some more make work. We're on a planet. We can't do a deal there. We can't buy there. Can't do any work. So let's do some make work. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw in another $200 into our pile. And at that point, we will start moving. We're going to go 1 alliance space. And let's see what it is. What did we shuffle up to? Family dinner. Oh, and there you go, serendipitous. There's the family dinner that Jane bought for the crew after betraying them as his apology. We don't have any disgruntled workers over here. We managed to get rid of all of them in our shore leave. So we're just we'll do I'll be in my bunk and keep flying. So that's the first one down. Now we're going to go into New Hope. And let's pull a border card. And what do we get here? Nav hazard, asteroids. We can be a leaf on the wind, or we can take the long way round. Long way round is a full stop. Leaf on the wind. If you have a pilot, keep flying. Otherwise, you spend a fuel and keep flying. Well, we do have a pilot, because one of the advantages of Malcolm as a leader is he is the only leader, I think, in the base game anyway, who is also a pilot. So we can keep flying. And then we go 1 more. We go to the space up here with Ithaca. Let's draw 1 more border space card. Big black, keep flying. So we've made it all the way up here to Ithaca. So at this point, let's look at Ranch Hand Recruitment, which is our mission for patience. We loaded passengers over there at the Space Bazaar. We made it to Ithaca, Georgia, deliver the passengers, get paid $300 per. We have a medic. The interrogator's a medic, so we're going to get a $400 bonus, and then we're going to get $300 per passenger. We got the interrogation, the negotiation skill. So we come over here, we have got 6 passengers. So 1,800, we're going to get paid a total of 2,200 for all the passengers in our cargo hold here. We're going to have to remember to remove the 1,200 for our crew. So in the long run, we make 1,000 on that particular mission there. But the most important thing is not immoral, so we don't have to worry about that. No disgruntlement. The big thing is we can take that down here now. And we have now become solid with all 5 of the contacts. And just to show you patience, whenever you get solid with patience, you get to consider 4 jobs whenever you're dealing with her, not just the 3 jobs. You can still only take 2, but you get to draw 4 and consider them. So there you go. We have made it over there. Let's look at our winning conditions. Winning the game, we were doing goal number 1, the good, make connections, end the game solid with 5 different contacts, which is exactly what we have done. So we have won the game, the solo version here. All right, guys. That shows you that is Firefly, the board game. That is the solo version, of course. Significant differences, you know, the amount of stuff that you can do on a turn and that sort of thing is rather significant from this and the multiplayer game. You add in the fact that you also, you know, in this game you start off with a full crew. You start off with 4 crew members, so that is quite an advantage as well over starting with just your captain and flying around and having to assemble a crew and buy a crew. So there you go. It's quite nice. In a full, you know, 2 to 4 player game, the Alliance Cruiser and the Reaver would be a lot more active. They would be moving around all the time because other people would be drawing cards. So your cruisers would be shifting around and probably be more of a presence on the board than they are here in the solo game. We had a couple of places, you know, when we were worried about over here when we were going to the Space Bazaar, and you got the Reaver just 2 spaces away from it, hoping you didn't draw a card. And of course, when the Alliance Cruiser, we drew the reshuffle card and it came over. So all in all, I really like it. It is a fun game. It really captures the essence of Firefly and all, I think, really well. Especially if you're familiar with the game. As everything else, it's like a Cthulhu game. If you are familiar with Cthulhu and the writings of Lovecraft, you're going to get a lot more out of a Cthulhu game. Same thing with war games. If you're familiar, let's say you're playing a battle, playing, I don't know, 1775. You're playing the 1775 game. You're going to get a lot more out of the game and the events that happen if you actually know something about American history as you go along. The same with the game, the making of the, what is it, 1960, the making of a president. When a 2-player game where one of you plays Kennedy and the other one plays Nixon, and you're trying to campaign around the country and win the election. You know, if you know something more about American politics or the events of that election, the events going on in the society and all at that time, you get a lot more out of the game. And it's the same here. You know, the language, like just fix the garum thing, the fact that you got the various items like Jane's fluffy pink dress, the fluffy pink dress, Kaylee, or, you know, there's a card in there with a picture of Badger and his very fine hat, his fancy duds. So, you know, you can get those. If you get those, they're a good deal more of a meaning if you're familiar with the show. Or just think of the one what we had here with the family dinner, where you spend a cargo and remove disgruntled from all the crew. Well, it's because, you know, if you watch the movie, watch the TV show and all, you know, that Jane screwed everybody over and then felt real bad, then genuinely felt real bad about it afterwards and tried to make up for it. So there you go. That is Firefly the game. I am looking forward to getting some multiplayer done of it. Once we get one of our new members of the group up to speed with how to use tabletop sim, because we'll have to be playing this on tabletop sim. Maybe when I win the lottery, I can pay pay for a weekend ticket to have Mindfiend and Mrs. Mindfiend fly over and join me for a board game here in my kitchen. But until then, we'll have to cross the pond virtually. All right. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. That gives you a taste of how everything looks. I hope I've corrected all my mistakes as I went along, and that the corrections and mistakes and all weren't too confusing. And yeah, hope I've given you a taste for how the game plays. I have enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. It's one of those many things that I would love to get around to painting the various ship models sometime and all, and kind of blinging it out a little bit, like I did with the dinosaurs over here, and with the big damn money expansion. But you know, that actually takes time, and unfortunately, time is at a premium. So, what we're going to do, in the keeping of it, in the keeping of the theme, we are going to sit here and we're going to go, is this game going to be our grave? Or will we do well here and call this game this game? I think we will call this game this game, and we will do very well here. So, it is not off to the graveyard. We will see y'all next time. Thanks for coming along with it. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. And once again, have a happy new year. Bye bye.